You posed some good questions about the disabled list. I kind of want to answer some of those questions and remarks you had. Personally, I think players and coaches are using the disabled list way too much. Whether it be just for the 10 days, or 20 days, or 60 days, whatever the time frame it is. They're on there way too much. Just man up and play the freaking game. They're coming out of games for like a little bit of a tweak in the calf, a paper cut. Sometimes these players are not playing more than they are playing, and yet they're still getting paid millions of dollars. I'd love to be paid $1 million to just sit on the couch or the bench and do nothing. You want to join me? Like, we could start like a whole team. It would be like that South Park episode. The only athletes I really respect are hockey players. Compared to the MLB, NFL, and NBA, hockey players in the NHL, they're some of the toughest guys out there. Like when I'm watching my New York Rangers play, during the regular season, they're pretty good. Playoffs, they start getting slow, and I'm like, what happened to the 5 goals a game they were scoring? Then you find out once they're eliminated, they're like, oh, well, this guy was playing with a broken leg. This guy had a sports hernia. But no, these hockey players are tough. They've got mental toughness. They're out there every game playing their hardest. Sure, every once in a while they gotta take a game or two off, but for the most part, they're not really going on the disabled list. Baseball players, basketball players, football players, they're always on the disabled list. Football, you're always hearing like, oh, well, this guy's got some tightness over here, and he might not play today, and the fantasy football league is out of whack, and just go out there and play. Like, I don't want to get too much into soccer players, but there's some of the worst actors out there. You like blink in their direction and they're flopping around on the floor asking for a pity party. Hockey players, they get knocked down, they get slammed to the boards, they get back up, go to the other guy, hit him, finish the play, score the goal. Alexander Ovechkin of Washington Capitals does that all the time. He plays hard, he's tough, and he does everything right. Now, I want to pick your brain a little bit. Now, the disabled list is one thing, but resting players who are healthy or mostly healthy is a totally different hot, touchy subject. I understand both sides, resting players and playing every day, because I think there's 2 ways to approach a game. 1, go out there every day, play your hardest, because it's new day, new game, you don't know what's going to happen. 2 is the end goal, winning the championship. Sure, it's nice to finish first place, most points, most wins, but if you don't win that championship, not really much. I mean, the Golden State Warriors, when they set the NBA record for most wins in a season, they didn't win the championship that year. I know you're going to say, hey, Joe, shouldn't you put out your best players there to play every day, play every game, give it your all, have the fans give what they want? This is a business aspect. Yes, but I think it's better if a fan's disappointed for a couple games throughout the regular season that, oh, I didn't get to see my favorite player play, and I paid $200 for this ticket. But if your team wins the championship, because your players did well enough to make the playoffs, won all the playoffs, I think that fan's going to be a lot happier to be like, that coach knew what he was doing. I mean, you saw it last year when Andrew Miller was facing Chapman against the Cubs, the World Series. Their arms were tired after that playoff stretch because their managers were using them constantly because they knew, hey, at the end of the year, they have all off season to rest up, heal their arms and whatnot. You can't do that over a whole season. Just not going to happen. So I want to leave you this little puzzle or dilemma. Do you go out there every day, try your hardest, try and win every game, or do you throw some games and rest your players for some more important ones? And as for Chris, I hope he's not on the DL too long because I want to hit some baseballs over the fence. Anyway, Voldemort, I'll see you on Thursday.